Namibia is on the precipice of a burgeoning green hydrogen industry, along with the recent massive oil discoveries. International communities are eyeing Namibia for investment opportunities. How can the ordinary Namibian benefit from this? How can Namibia avoid the resource curse? Joining me in studio is Jo-Marie Dadi, the editorial coordinator of the Focus supplement, A Working Nation, along with Lita Anguo, the marketing coordinator of the aforementioned supplement, here to discuss this and more. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura, and this is yet another edition of the Focus Show.
Liberty. The business owner's game changer, a capital bond. By investing in the capital bond product at a minimum investment amount of 250,000 Namibian dollars and a minimum 12 months investment period, you can channel your capital gains into a tax-efficient investment vehicle that offers a range of investment funds with minimal cost to you. Say hello to a smarter, more efficient way to grow your company's wealth by giving your broker a call or contact Liberty Life on.
I'm now joined in a studio with Jo-Marie Dadi, the editorial coordinator of the Focus supplement, A Working Nation. Good morning.
Hi, Glenora. Lovely to join you again. I can't believe it's been a year, but here we are again.
It feels very short, very short.
It does. I think it's because there's so much happening in Namibia in the moment. The country is really fast tracking in terms of the economy. So good news.
No, I saw, and I've had a chance to go through the Focus supplement, the Working Nation, this edition. And I was so impressed on how much you guys covered, especially with all this investment that's coming in because of the green hydrogen, the recent oil discoveries, and the opportunities for Namibians.
Indeed, because that is what Working Nation is about. We look at the economy, but what is also important is that one realizes that a strong economy creates the opportunity for more employment. But then, of course, you have to have the right policies and, you have to have government and business working together so that we do indeed pass on these massive opportunities that are ahead of us, that it sort of feeds through to grassroots level.
Speaking of massive, you did cover in the supplement that last year alone had a 74% jump from 2022 in terms of foreign investment in the country.
That is true. Of course, we're working on the data of the Namibia Statistics Agency. Now, just to give you more or less an idea, if I can throw a few figures around, last year we talk about gross capital fix formation, but that's just a jargon for basically investment. So last year, our gross capital fix formation in the country amounted to 59.6 billion Namibian dollars. That is massive. We haven't seen investment exceeding 40 billion Namibian dollars a year since 2015. So it's really, really great news. Of course, most of these investors are interested in the mining side of the Namibian economy. That is, as you say, the green hydrogen that is emerging, the massive exploration in oil offshore Namibia, especially in the Orange Basin. But then also we're seeing massive growth in the uranium mining. We've seen Langer Heinrich coming on board again. So the uranium price is fantastic, and of course Namibia, a massive uranium producer. So great news there.
Now this sounds definitely, great news not only for the country but for the ordinary individual. I mean, experts are estimating tens of thousands of jobs going to be created from this.
Just from green hydrogen alone.
Just from green hydrogen alone.
Alone.
Wow.
So we are very much in the baby shoes of this industry, but looking ahead 10 years or so, we do expect that industry will create massive employment opportunities. But what is also important in terms from the ordinary Namibians' perspective, the oil that we're looking at the moment, we haven't proved yet that it's commercially viable. So we're not talking about oil production as such at this stage. But what is important to remember is that these investors come in, they pay massive amounts in taxes and royalties, etc., in these sectors. Now that is money that goes to government, and that then feeds through to the economy. So, you know, it can be invested in health, it can be invested in education, those types of capital projects. And what's also very important to remember is that those investors who are currently in the country just in the exploration side of the thing, they use a lot of local suppliers. So that money feeds back into the economy and, you know, help the ordinary guys.
How would you say Namibia in general is gearing up for this need? I mean, we mentioned that tens of thousands of jobs going to be created just with the green hydrogen sector alone.
That is a very interesting topic because there is some skepticism around it. People saying that green hydrogen is the new buzzword internationally in terms of climate change, etc. And are there enough skills in Namibia to step up to this thing? Because it's a highly technological and complicated process. And what is very encouraging is that government is very proactive there. We have our Green Hydrogen Commissioner, James Nupe, on various occasions pointing out that Namibia has partnered with fantastic international experts to skill Namibians. We've got bursary programs, etc. So we are indeed stepping up our skills because it's going to be an upskill process for us. What is also important, what one can see from government side, is that they've approached this whole process of getting foreign skills into Namibia. They've sped that up and they've relaxed the stringent requirements there quite a bit, with the idea of, they talk about nomad visas, etc. But those skilled experts come in and they train Namibians so that in future we are fully sufficient in terms of our own skills.
I like to hear that because you mentioned in your editorial note how Namibia should try to avoid the resource curse.
Absolutely.
Where we have resources but Namibians are not benefiting from it.
Exactly, and that's a real hot debate at the moment in Namibia, is to which extent does Namibia have a local participation. It's especially a hot topic when it comes to the oil exploration at the moment, because government has a very, very small carried interest in these projects, and people are wondering why government has opted for that very small stake at the moment, because what we have to bear in mind is that these investors, I mean, we're talking major oil companies, we're talking Shell, Total Energies, these are the real superpowers internationally. But it takes billions to come and hunt for the oil, and then you're not quite sure yet whether it's going to be commercially viable. So government has opted and said, look, we don't have that kind of money to sort of gamble on whether this is possible. That's why we're taking a small interest at the moment, so that these guys can have a look and see what the potential is. But then, there, as I've mentioned just now, there is already a big spill-off effect in terms of local procurement, etc., and government actively working on a local ownership policy. So we are looking at it, but it is a process.
Yeah, so for now, most Namibians, we can say, can mainly benefit almost, you know, in industries that can service, whether that be it the green hydrogen or, you know, the oil. But what industries are we looking at so that people just have a glimpse or an idea where they can start upskilling, for instance?
Right. So besides your mining thing, which is at this stage massive growth, drive in Namibia, we are looking, or things that one can have a look at that can sort of start capitalizing on these industries. We're looking at your service providers like wholesale and retail, people that are coming in to develop these projects, they need to buy their groceries, they need to live somewhere, they need fuel. With the mining, etc., those mines need to be built. So you're looking at local contractors. It is at grassroots level, there definitely is a positive spin-off at this moment already from this growth spurt that we're seeing.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. And like we said, we want to avoid the resource curse. Now, the economic outlook is looking incredibly positive. Can you expand on this? I mean, you did mention a few things just now.
It's you know, obviously COVID, the pandemic hit us tremendously, but we had a massive economic lull even before that, because government started cutting back to sort of get its fiscal house in order, so it spent a lot less in the economy, and that sort of already created a recession in the economy. So it's wonderful when we saw the 2 years or so after COVID, it did have nice positive growth, but one must remember that it comes from negative. So it's then easy to sort of, you know, bring nice figures home. But last year, we saw the real growth coming back. And we see independent economists using fantastic quotes, which I haven't heard in so many years, saying the outlook is incredibly positive. You know, for these guys to start saying things like that, and Namibia's oil potential is enormous, and tourism has got fantastic potential. These are such, it's so refreshing to at least hear that people are indeed excited about the economy again. Of course, there are things that we have to bear in mind to reap the full benefit. You mentioned a couple of times now the resource curse. For that, we're going to have tremendous strong governance, accountability, etc.
It's a good thing that you mentioned
Yes.
that, because that brings me right into my next question. What are the effective policies, trade and industrial policies that are in place or should be put in place to, you know, to curb some of the negative spillover of such massive investments in the country?
Indeed, because one must remember, not only are we sort of being very aware of not falling into the resource curse trap, but even before this, Namibia has had a little bit of a raw deal in terms of international image when it comes to bureaucracy, the red tape, how long it takes to get a business going, etc., etc. And we find that government is definitely looking at that. There are more interventions needed. We do need clarity on things like the Investment Act. We desperately need clarity on our empowerment legislation. Those things have been dragging for years, and it sort of, you know, it does influence an investor when he has to decide where to take his money. With the oil right now, it's a little bit of a different situation, because apparently Namibia can be a big shot. It can be a massive producer. Should this be viable?
We're being eyed by OPEC, I mean, at this stage.
OPEC is saying, talk to
Yes.
us. So tremendous noise is being made, but still we do have to get the policy in place, and one would hope that all these new developments in terms of green hydrogen, mining, oil, that those things will convince government to speed up and take the remaining policy uncertainty out of the way, and also to actively get involved in things like innovation and technology, etc., to make Namibia even more attractive to investors.
No, it's great that you should mention that, because that brings into the next article that you wrote. We're looking at the tourism industry.
Yes.
It suffered massively during the COVID pandemic, but I've seen some great reports on it, that it's recovering slowly but surely. We're getting there. But what strategies are being put in place, you know, to help the industry recover and obviously maybe boost from where it was? what is put in place, and especially with these investments that are coming in?
Yes, of course. That's very, I've just thought about it now when you mentioned it. That's, of course, another spin-off of all these investors coming in. They do need to take some time off, so they might just as well enjoy Namibia's abundant tourism opportunities. But yes, we did take a massive knock in tourism, like the rest of the world did, after the pandemic. What government thought in the immediate aftermath is, okay, let's boost domestic tourism. Let's get Namibians to boost or support local tourism. That unfortunately has not panned out. And that is because your ordinary Namibian is still under a tremendous amount of pressure in terms of disposable income, etc., etc. So they don't really have the means to support domestic tourism to the extent that we'd like to see. However, the data that's been coming out since January really show a pickup in occupancy, in arrivals. These are international guys coming back. And of course, what they say Namibia should concentrate on is your green ecotourism. Post-pandemic, the fact that we're not crowded, and that's what people want now. They just want to chill in open spaces. We should embrace innovation, the digital sphere of tourism, etc. What also helped is that the Ministry of Finance, government, in collaboration with commercial banks, the Bank of Namibia, and recently the Development Bank of Namibia, they have sort of repolished and relaunched the business rescue scheme, and that also helps the little bit of tourism guys that are still struggling. Because what is very important to remember is that although tourism in the bigger scheme of things contribute relatively little to the Namibian economy. I mean, they can't compete against mines and those guys, but tourism is a huge employer, and that is what is very important, that we get that sector up and running again. We saw some nice growth again last year, 4.8%. So we're getting there.
We're getting there, definitely. You mentioned the schemes and that there's a big turnaround because there was a revised SME scheme which has marked substantial strides towards economic rejuvenation. Can you just expand on that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the business, the SME rescue business scheme came to light during the pandemic because government saw that we needed to help those guys. The uptake wasn't very good, but we talk about 6 million or something during that time that businesses asked help us, and they got loans, etc., and aid. By the end of last year, we were looking at 360 million bucks that were pumped into these rescue packages for business. So what they've done is they've re-looked the criteria, so the criteria is more attractive now for businesses, that can apply for this, and with the Development Bank coming in, it's also given it a lovely boost.
Well, before I let you go, I know in the supplement there's a beautiful graph showing the economic growth in the past 4 years.
Yes.
Could you briefly expand on
that? If you'll just allow me, my memory gets a little bit confused every now and again, but like overall growth, we're talking in 2020 with the pandemic, we talked about minus 8.1. So that was a very, very deep recession. It was a scary figure. So it's climbed nicely to 3.6 the year after that, 5.3 in 2022, and then last year a little bit of a dip. We went back to 4.2, but like I explained in the beginning of the program, one must remember that the 21-22 figures came from what economists call a low base. So the 4.2 is good. That's what we want to work with. We do see that mining is driving growth at the moment. Uranium, gold, to a little extent diamonds. Diamonds are having a tough time because of your synthetic issue. Also disposable income international still an issue, but luckily the uranium sector coming up very nicely. We've got some really great projects in the pipeline in terms of gold and lithium. So mining very strong there. Livestock or agriculture is going to have a hard time because of the drought. So, but that's, Namibians are sort of used to the drought, but it still is tough. Construction still in an extremely bad state. Manufacturing also had a tough time. We see wholesale and resale picking up, which is very good because it's a huge part of the economy, so that's good news. And then, of course, your tourism, your transport, your financial activities, those are all showing nice positive growth again. So good news overall.
Thank you so much, Jo Marie, for joining us and, dissecting the supplement with us. On the other side of the break, we'll be talking to Lita Angur, the marketing coordinator of the Focus Supplement, A Working Nation.
Alex Forbes. Insight, advice, and impact. The actions and decisions you take today define your tomorrow. Prudent investments mean the financial security to achieve every dream and aspiration you have for your family. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insights to provide you with advice and fit-for-purpose investment solutions that connect your decisions today to the impact you want tomorrow. Alex Forbes. Call it your own and connect with investments that have impact. App with us. Unlock a world of features designed around your needs. Our mobile app gives you access to the tools you need for more convenient, secure, and reliable banking. Always protect yourself from fraud and never share your VPN. With our mobile app you can log in with biometrics, download bank statements, transfer between accounts, make easy wallet payments, manage beneficiaries, manage card limits, send easy wallets to saved numbers, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, top up your MTC contract, customize account names, use the app with no data charges, receive and manage notifications, benefit from new security upgrades, and so much more.
As I mentioned before the break, I'm now joined by Lita Angur, the marketing coordinator of the Focus Supplement, A Working Nation. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Glenora. How are you?
I'm great. I forgot to tell Jo Marie this, but I'm really impressed with the supplement. It looks really good. It's very informative. Can you tell me a little bit about the clients that are featured in this?
Okay, so as per usual, we mostly focus on our B7 clients. So those are, it's FNB, First National Bank of Namibia, and then we have the Capricorn Group, which is Bank Windhoek. We have Liberty Namibia, and then we have Alexander Forbes.
Why was it important to feature them in this supplement?
Because those are our Business 7 clients, so they automatically feature in the supplement because it goes hand in hand with what they do on a normal day. As every Tuesday we post Business 7 adverts for them, so we give them this as a complimentary. On the focus.
I like that it also complemented the focus and what you guys were dissecting in the supplement. Yes, exactly. So I kudos to the team for that. Can you tell the viewers where they can get the Focus supplement? Because I enjoyed reading it. It was very informative, and I feel like everyone out there who's especially interested in how they can, cater or be a part of, be it the green hydrogen or the mining and oil industry.
Yeah, so the Focus supplement is today in all our 3 publications, namely the Republican, Namibian Sun, and the Allgemeine Zeitung. So wherever you find yourself and there's a newspaper, grab it. There is definitely a Working Focus edition inserted inside. You can as well get it on our flipper, which is on our website. as well as on our Facebook Focus Magazine page.
So you can find it
Yeah.
digitally and hard copy.
Definitely.
Well, there's no excuse to not get your hands on this Focus supplement. Thank you so
Definitely.
much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And with that, we've come to the end of the show. I hope to have left you a little bit more enlightened. From me, Glenna Rashipura, until next time.
When you need efficient working capital, we can help. Understanding that each business has different cycles, we can offer tailored working capital solutions to help your business grow. 061 299 2222. First National Bank. How can we help you?